Anna left a comment for us and said, just discovered the podcast, ! I love you guys, smiley face.
Oh, we love you too, Anna. Thank you. Thanks for such a good question, honestly.
Seriously, we love that, and the pelvic freaks needed to hear that question.
Yes, absolutely.
You're listening to The Pelvic Freak Show
with your hosts, Amanda Neary and Hannah Meyer. Hey, pelvic freaks. Welcome back to another episode of The Pelvic Freak Show.
Well, you're freaks for us, and we're freaks for your pelvis, baby.
Did we both just decide to sing, or were you just going off of my vibe?
I was, every time I'm like, I'm going to improv it, and I just went off of what you did, so.
Perfect. Listen, I have an announcement today.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to hear it. What is it?
So I really don't think you know this already, but sorry if it's not exciting. I'm freezing my eggs.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I'm going to do it.
Do it.
Yeah, I think it's something I've had in mind for my 31st birthday because I genuinely, every time I hang out with a kid, I'm like 50-50. I'm like, sometimes I feel like I want them, sometimes I don't. I'm not in a relationship right now. I've had 2 patients tell me like, oh my God, Amanda, it's so easy, just do it. I figured, one, I think I will find that empowering to like take control and like have that as an option. And I can afford the storage at this age. So like, it seems like the right time to do it. 2, it'll give me good feedback for patients that ask me about it. So I'm doing it a little bit for research. And 3, I think part of what I stress out about finding like the right partner is like, if I want kids, do I have to work with this timeline? And it just like gives me a little more leeway with that.
It's going to free you.
It's going to free me of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
When did you decide? When were you like, yes, let's do it?
I first thought of it at the beginning of the year, but I always figured like I have my annual gyno appointment sometime in April and May, and then I would ask for a referral. But I also have I have a former patient and then another friend who was also a former patient that have recommended fertility specialists to me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to reach out to their people and ask my gyno and like see who might be the best fit. And then sometime like late summer, maybe fall, before the end of 2026, I want to have it done. It's like a 3-week process.
Yeah.
And then it just depends how many retrievals they recommend for like how many eggs they want you to have. Because mine will be unfertilized, so they won't be embryos. You can never guarantee that they would like become embryos if you unfreeze them. So I just figured, why not
do it?
Why not do it?
That's so exciting. And then you can update us on the process. Let us know your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And we can kind of bring that into the conversation.
Yeah. And for the freaks listening, let me know if you want me to document it. I'm kind of planning on making a little like TikTok series about it so that, because I feel like everyone talks about it. And do you remember there was like an influencer campaign about freezing eggs a while back with some of the people that were on The Bachelorette? Ooh. And I remember a few of them were like, I'm freezing my eggs because I'm 28, 29, 30. And there was no info on the process or whatever. And I just feel like a lot of people talk about it, but I, for one, don't really know what it is. I know you do injections. I know you have to take medication for a certain amount of time, and then they do the harvesting of the eggs. But like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I'm going to make a series so that anyone that's considering this has the info.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I'll let you guys know.
That's so exciting.
So exciting.
That's going to take so much of the stress out of like dating too, honestly. Because like, that is a good point.
And my other announcement, which isn't really an announcement, but a revelation I've had is that this is truly the first time in my life ever, Hannah, that I feel like I've been happily single. Like I'm single and I like it.
I can notice it in you too.
I'm not like, I need to find my next partner. There's no piece of that in me. Like I have like all these likes on Hinge that I could go through. I'm unmotivated. Like, and it's not like it's not a lack of like partnership desire. Like that's still there. And I still have like crushes all the time, but I have no desire to like meet someone for the goal of having them be a life partner right now. Okay. I just feel really good. And I'm like, the next person I date will really be adding something to my life. And it'll just feel aligned.
That's how you unlock it.
Yeah.
How do you feel this happened?
Literally, I think a combination of like finding the right mental health care for me, but also I think I stayed single long enough that I started loving it. I've always been someone that I get out of a relationship. I don't immediately get into another one, but I'm always like dating pretty quick after, involved with someone else.
It's because you're hot.
Because I'm hot.
The freaks
sure.
can't stay away.
I know. The freaks want a piece of this.
You learn your worth.
I learned my worth. And now I'm like, I have had a few back-to-back situations where I'm just finding things that I'm not willing to accept in a partner anymore. And I'm realizing like, I am my ideal partner. So I think I'm just not accepting things that aren't aligned with that anymore.
Good.
And it feels so freeing because I'm like, I don't have to, there's no timeline, there's no pressure. But also I think what helped with it was actually turning 30. Like there's this societal timeline of like, you have to be married and have a baby by the time you're 30. And I hated that pressure. And in my late 20s, I was definitely feeling it, especially like I was in a relationship until I turned 29, basically. So I was like, oh, great, I'm starting over when I'm supposed to be like getting married and having a baby. And getting rid of that pressure, like truly shot me into the next dimension of self-worth and like where I'm at in life. And I'm like so excited to live alone and have 2 cats. I used to be scared to have 2 cats because I was like, people are going to call me crazy if I have 2 cats. And now I'm like, what the fuck was that about?
2 cats are the best.
2 cats is the best. Like
because they cuddle each other and they're the perfect decoration. They love each other and then they love you.
I know. I'm like, I used to be like, what if I have 2 cats? And then I date someone that has 2 cats. And now I'm like, okay, what if I do? Like, that's fine.
You figure it out.
You figure it out.
You literally do. If
Yeah.
that person's aligned with you, you just figure it out.
Totally.
And then that's fucking hilarious if you have 4 cats.
That's hilarious.
And then it's just funny.
And that's funny.
And then you have 2 litter robots and that's fine.
That's literally so fine. So I think all of that helped. But I truly do feel like at peace in a way that I've never felt before. I always thought people were lying when they said that. When they were like, I'm not looking for a partner right now. I was like, liar.
And that's like when the right relationship does find you, is when you're just not looking for it too. Like it just kind of comes.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That's cool.
I'm kind of loving this right now.
I think that the pelvic freaks needed to hear that. I bet there's so many people in that similar situation.
Yeah, freaks, let me know, because we should start a circle of childless cat ladies freezing their eggs.
Oh yeah, we said we were going to do a Facebook group, right?
Love that.
We need to work on that. Maybe we'll have a subgroup.
Subgroup, exactly.
Let us know if you're aligned with that.
Perfect.
No, that's awesome. I feel like when I am going through something, I'm always looking for like other people on social media or other celebrities that have gone through similar things and hearing their experience and what that's like. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing.
Yeah. I'll share with the freaks anytime. With the freaks. All right, what the heck should we talk about for real?
So you guys have been doing the thing. You've been doing the damn thing and submitting the damn questions, which is what we've been asking. And we love it because it's giving us guidance for what we need to talk about. So we have 2 more. We have another Q&A we're doing today.
Whoop,
In this
whoop.
Q&A, we have 2 questions that we wanted to zoom in on to talk about in specific detail today. And by the title of this episode, you already know a little bit about what it is, but you're probably confused.
You're probably confused because you're seeing egg freezing, fecal smearing. What was our one? Girthy penis. All in one title. So which one should we start with? Fecal smearing?
Yeah, I think let's talk about fecal smearing because people are confused about what that is. So the way that we talk about fecal smearing is when you feel like you're wiping a marker, you go to the bathroom, you have a bowel movement, and you're just wiping, and it's just never clean. You're wearing underwear, and there's like stains on your underwear because you just like cannot finish the wipe. That's our description of fecal smearing. I don't know if there's a more specific name for it other than that, but that's what I've always called it.
I think that is the scientific name, right?
Yeah. Okay, you didn't get all?
No, it's not.
But some people do describe fecal smearing of like kids like wiping their poop on the walls and stuff.
Scatolia.
Yes, that's that, I think.
I never say that. I totally forgot that word
No,
existed.
scotolia is when you wipe it on the walls, right?
Intentional. Intentional handling or spreading. So that's when kids wipe it on the walls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a thing. But that's not what we're talking about
No.
in this case.
No, it's not. We are talking about involuntary fecal smearing.
So
Should I read the question?
go ahead and read the question, Amanda.
The question is, for most of my life, I have had trouble with fecal smearing. When I poop, I will often spend 20 to 30 minutes in the bathroom wiping. It feels like no matter how much I wipe, there's always more. I have a bidet and a squatty potty for my apartment that helps get it down to 10 to 15 minutes. But when I'm out in public, I still have the same problem where I will wipe and wipe and wipe and never really get clean. My friends and family will often comment on how long it takes me. Is this a pelvic floor problem? And if so, how can I go about trying to fix it? First of all, thank you so much for sharing that question. I know it's not comfortable to share intimate things about yourself, but this is so important for us to talk about on the podcast because we need to destigmatize these conditions that we don't talk about as much.
Yeah, and that's literally affecting your mental health. If you want to go out and enjoy a marg with your friends, but you got to go to the bathroom and something's got to happen, and then you're like, I don't want to be in this bathroom at the freaking local taco. Wiping my butt forever.
Literally.
Like that's stressful. So yeah, we'll talk about how to help this.
For starters, if we were in a pelvic floor eval, we would ask some follow-up questions to just understand your bowel history. So what the consistency of your stool is like, how often you're going, how long this has been happening. I think it said for most of their life, but we don't know how old you are. We don't know, when that exactly started. And I guess what your protocol around it is, what you've done to try to help so far. And that would give us a lot more information on what's going on. But Hannah, what comes to your mind as top of head reasons for fecal smearing?
Top of mind reasons for fecal smearing would be, one, the consistency of your stool is all messed up. So it could be diet related for sure. But I'm thinking there's definitely a pelvic floor muscle component in terms of you're not emptying fully, you're not emptying completely, you have some type of dysynergic defecation where you're not relaxing your pelvic floor when you have to have a bowel movement and you're actually like kegling, and then there's stool that's just like getting out. It's kind of a form of like fecal incontinence in a way. Comes down to your pelvic floor might just not be functioning properly on top of getting the diet portion figured out. Because on top of questions I would ask you in an eval would be, has there ever been a time where you've not experienced this? And what were you doing? What did that look like? What was your diet like? I would probably refer to a dietitian just to like sort that component out for sure. But mostly I find people navigating issues with bowel movements that try to navigate the diet realm is just very, very complicated and very hard. The easiest thing to do is go see a pelvic floor PT first, because that's a much easier fix. Addressing diet and finding out all of that it takes time and it's hard.
Also, if it is diet related, but it's been going on for this long, it might be diet related, but it's definitely muscle related, right? So even if it is like a diet issue and they fix that, we still have this reactive, whatever's going on in the muscle groups to make it hard to void fully. That's going to still be there if you don't do pelvic floor PT. So it might take a little bit longer.
Yeah. And I want to just give you some reassurance. Let's say you listen to our episodes and you see that we talk about pain with sex, like urinary leakage, all those things. And you were like, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me, blah, blah, blah. This is the only thing I have that's frustrating. That is 100% enough for you to go make an eval with a pelvic floor PT.
That's a really good point, because
Yeah.
we do talk about other things so much. But yes, this alone is a reason to go see a pelvic floor therapist.
Yeah, because I could see someone being like, well, like this is annoying, but I just deal with it. Like I just go, that is still something that you can go get an eval for. Get a rectal assessment is what we would recommend, and see how your pelvic floor is functioning and have someone give you some tips, because dilators might be recommended, maybe wand, maybe other things. Maybe your pelvic floor PT will ask you a bunch of questions where you'll be like, oh, I didn't realize that's an issue, but it is. So
This, I will say, I don't know where this person is in the world, but if you have access to a local pelvic floor therapist, I would see them. Or if you need to see someone virtually, we're available, or there's other virtual PTs you could see. It's worth it, because even hearing more about your history would give so much information on what needs to be done to help this. Maybe it's, you said you have a squatty potty, you said you have a bidet. Maybe we need to go over proper voiding mechanics and coordination, because that's been something that's learned wrong. And the body now has a reflexive response to voiding bowel movements that isn't the best way to void for your pelvic floor. Maybe you've developed some pelvic floor tension that you could work on with manual therapy or breathing exercises at home, and specific down training things, like Hannah said, use of dilators, use of other pelvic floor tools. Or maybe there's a condition, maybe there's hemorrhoids, some sort of rectal prolapse, something else that's causing it. There's a condition where one of your like anal sphincters isn't functioning properly. Like, we can give you tips on anything that might be going on or underlying. And if it's something as, I say simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Something as simple as pelvic floor tension, it's still something we very much can treat and get better.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. All those are great. As you can tell, there's so many things you can discover about yourself with just coming to pelvic floor PT with just this question alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there will be so many assessment things that you can go through. Highly recommend to do that.
It is worth it, especially if this is something people are commenting on. You are so aware of it, and you gave such a good description of what is bothering you about it too. So take exactly that question to your pelvic floor PT, and I promise there will be a meaningful difference.
I will say, like, for a lot of patients that have a lot of anxiety with this, like, I have patients that are like, I never wear thongs. I hate wearing underwear. Like, I never buy nice underwear. Like, all this stuff. And it's a huge anxiety component. Like, when you're hooking up with people or even just like being in public, I say, wear black underwear. Just wear black underwear, and who cares? While we figure this out.
Love that.
Wear a black thong. Who cares?
I love that.
Just get some black lacy. You can still wear sexy underwear and be stressed about this, but like, that will at least ease your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's a big problem for people too. Mm-hmm. And that's a component of upregulation of your nervous system and being anxious about your pelvic floor. Let's just like get that out of the way, right?
Love that.
Okay. I feel like
I think we did it.
I think we hit the nail on the headboard with that one.
Not the nail on the headboard.
I always forget the actual thing.
Hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
The nail on the head. Oh, love it.
Okay, cool.
All right. You want to read the next one?
Okay. Yeah. If you guys have any more bowel related questions for us, please send those in. And we know those are sometimes the more scarier ones to submit, but you can always make it anon if you want to be anon, you know, but we love these questions. So we're going to move on to our next question, next and last question. So shorter Q&A today. Here we go. Dear Pelvic Floor Pros.
Woo.
I'm 22 years old. I'm writing because I'm genuinely confused and a little worried about my body. My first boyfriend was ... large and girthy. It was difficult to even insert, and when we did, it felt like I was being rearranged by a freight train. I love the descriptions here. This is actually helping. It rarely ever felt good, only once or twice when I was ovulating. When we broke up, we agreed we were just not a sexual match, or we were just a sexual mismatch. Then along came my second boyfriend, sweet guy, but when I saw his penis, it was short and skinny. It reminded me of one of those little glue sticks from school. I'm not even exaggerating. Sorry, this is actually my first time reading this question, so I'm like live reacting. I think it was exactly the same size. I thought, hey, at least it won't hurt this time. But when we had sex, I could barely feel any sensation, ! I still enjoyed the intimacy we had, but it was never going to work out. Now I'm just a single gal wondering if I have the world's pickiest vagina. Why can't she vibe with big or small? Is this normal? Am I just destined to swing between ouch, please stop, and are you even in yet? What is quote unquote good penetration supposed to feel like? Please tell me if something's wrong with me or if I'm just the unluckiest Goldilocks in the bedroom. Confused in the UK, Anna.
Wow. What a good question. And so like, Anna, I hope you're a writer because your storytelling's really good.
Yeah, I like the signature too. Signed, Confused in the UK.
I know, I love that.
And you're right, Goldilocks in the bedroom, too big, too small.
Literally.
I see it. Okay, I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those that we just don't have enough data on, right? Because it could just be one was too big and one was too small to have like proper sensation for this person. there is a possibility that you had two outliers for like quote unquote average sizes. And the girthy one maybe is indicative of some pelvic floor tension. If there was some dysfunction going on causing a lot of pain, being rearranged by a freight train is pretty telling that that's like an uncomfortable sensation, right? So even if someone's big, there are ways to help with that. So there could have been, I don't know when your first boyfriend was in your life or what age you were at, or if that's still happening. There could have been some dysfunction. Now, the second person sounds like a much different issue. And I'm curious, my follow-ups would be like, what sensation do you have if you're like inserting a tampon, or like, does it feel like that's falling out? Do you feel like you have no feeling of that at all? Because it's probably not that there's a lack of sensation. It might just be that they were on the smaller side and you weren't used to that and you weren't getting that sensory input. And we don't know what your foreplay was like. You said you enjoyed the intimacy you had, but you weren't getting that internal feeling with penetration. So both of those are things that we do work on, whether it's resensitizing tissue or desensitizing tissue to larger capacities, or making tissue less tight for larger capacities. Mm-hmm. So we would kind of treat what we see in this case. There's a good chance that with somewhere in the middle size, it might fix itself, but we don't really know.
Yeah, I would say pelvic floor muscle dysfunction can alter sensation. So if you have some type of coordination issue or muscular issue, your sensation could be impaired. That's a test that we do. We'll like tap on this muscle, which like, what side am I on? Am I shallow or deep? Mm-hmm. What side am I on? Am I shallow or deep? Like, can you feel that? That's a sensation test that we'll do on pelvic floor PT sometimes, just to like play around with what do you feel down there. Sometimes just there can be other things that play a role into that, like people that don't ever want to look at their vagina, don't ever want to have anything to do with your vagina. With you being so open talking about this, I don't know if that's your case, or maybe it was ingrained in you at some point, but sometimes that can be even a case of like people feeling sensitivity or feeling things
totally
down there, quote unquote. So I would say sometimes it can be some type of nervous system regulation and a muscle component. What I would say, if I were you, when you masturbate, how does it feel? If you get like a vibrator that you insert, if you don't use that, if you only do clitoral stimulation, and see how that feels, and you can do like a test on yourself there. And if that is like, nope, I hate that, I don't like the idea of inserting something, then okay, maybe we need to do some pelvic floor PT and some work, because maybe that's the thing. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of vibrators you can do. You could even try a dildo. I wonder if you do like how you feel with fingering, even like how that is. That's a good question.
Yes. Good follow-up.
Going off your question of like, what is good penetration supposed to feel like? Do you have an answer to that, Amanda?
How do you describe this?
What I'll say is, what's the statistic? 90% of people with vaginas don't experience pleasure from just pure penetration alone. They need some type of clitoral stimulation.
Which can be internal.
It can be internal, so you can experience pleasure penetratively, but a lot of people need some type of clitoral stimulation in addition to penetrative intercourse. That's like a big reason why a lot of people like hands and knees position, because you can touch yourself externally with penetration. Like that's one reason. Or why people like on top, because you get the clitoris to like rub against them, and that's a good sensation for people too, with penetration combined. That's why they make like cock rings, vibrating cock rings, to give you that vibration stimulation too. Mm-hmm. Things like that.
Yeah, I would say, good penetration. Think about, so you said you enjoy the intimacy you had. So I'm going to assume, for the sake of this question, there was a form of arousal present. So when you're kissing your partner, when you're engaging in foreplay, whatever that may be, that feeling of arousal should be escalated by good penetration, right? That should continue to grow. And that feeling that you get, you just feel that internally. That's how I would describe like my personal experience with good penetration to someone. If you're questioning whether it's good penetration, it's probably neutral. like you're probably not getting the arousal from it. So maybe that is a time to, like Hannah said, try with an external stimulus on the clitoris and see if that adds to it. And that it will feel good. Good penetration will feel good, right? So you'll enjoy it. You'll want it to keep happening.
Yeah, there could have been definitely a partner mismatch there too. Like a lot of guys just want to penetrate and then move on.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Okay.
Penetrate and move on.
It sucks, but that's the reality. Especially like I feel like when you're first like learning, like literally learning to have sex, because we don't learn how pleasure is supposed to be for the woman, right? If you're having like heterosexual, like penis vagina penetrative sex, it's advertised, quote unquote, I guess, or marketed in media as just like see how like penetrative sex is in the movies. It's just, there's no component of like how the woman is enjoying it really, other than like the man thrusting, right?
Yeah.
So people like don't know how to pleasure a woman a lot of the times.
True.
And it comes from learned experiences. So
I would say in your case, though, I think Hannah's advice is best with trying penetration for yourself, whether it's fingering or with a vibrator that inserts or with a dildo. And if you find a size that's somewhere in the middle of those two partners you've had and it feels good and you're like, oh, I think that's what it should feel like. If you're still having issues, whether it's pain, whether it's difficulty inserting, whether it's lack of sensation, there's probably some degree of pelvic floor dysfunction going on with that middle size.
I'd be interested to see how a speculum exam feels. Like, I mean, obviously those are uncomfortable no matter what, but is it excruciating? You know, there could be some pelvic floor tension for sure that you have, and pelvic floor PT will help with that. Overall, like these are all like what ifs that we're shouting out. I would just make an eval because it doesn't hurt. Get your pelvic floor checked. If you feel like everything's fine, you feel the sensation's good, like your pelvic floor PT talks you through some things that you're aware of, then, you know, there you go. But it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So then you're not left wondering if you're the Goldilocks of the bedroom.
And don't discount what Hannah said about purity culture. If you were raised in some way, whether it was family, school, friend group, adult influence of some other kind that made you feel in some way that like your body needs to be pure and you're delicate and you're a flower and you can't do this, this, and this, or this, and this is bad, that needs credit too, because that can definitely rewire how you think about sex and what it should feel like and what you should be doing. And it takes a lot of unlearning and unpacking of that to sometimes get the body on board. So
yeah,
all of that would be figured out like through pelvic floor therapy too. We assess for, you know, reasons why these things are happening too.
Yeah, that's good. And then like that's another therapy component that maybe you work through, like mental health therapy if it was that case. Like again, we're just like throwing things out that we know exist in this world that can cause things like this. So
yeehaw. Not yeehaw.
Anna left a comment for us and said, just discovered the podcast, ! I love you guys, smiley face.
Oh, we love you too, Anna. Thank you. Thanks for such a good question, honestly.
Seriously, we love that, and the pelvic freaks needed to hear that question.
Yes, absolutely. All right, pelvic freaks, you guys are asking some really solid questions these days, and we really love answering them. Like these were two of my favorites we've had recently, and they're so specific, and they're things that people really need to hear, like you said. So if you guys have some, please go to the link in our bio at the Pelvic Freak Show. You can submit your questions there, or you can do it through our website, thepelvicfreakshow.com.
Yes, ma'am. And we have big news. We are bringing back video podcasts for you that missed it. We took a little break from video podcasts because, to be fair, we film out of our clinic. We have to set up, we have to take down, we have to do the lighting, we have to figure out the sound. It's an issue. It takes a long time, and then we get stressed out. So we took out the video component for a little bit, but now we're going to have our own podcast studio set up. Our things will always be set up. Do we need a sound machine? Do we need one of those
we need
in
a
our
sport
podcast
horn.
studio?
Sport horn!
That's going to be triggering for our freaks that don't like sports.
Which is me.
But we'll find a sound.
Yeah, we'll find a sound.
You know what? The world, it's limitless. The possibilities are limitless.
The oyster is our world.
The world and the oyster.
The world and the oyster.
Whatever. We don't do sayings.
Perfect.
Over here at the Pelvic Freak Show, we're bringing back video podcasts for you guys so you get to see our beautiful faces.
Gorgeous, if you will.
And yeah.
All right. Get excited.
Okay, cool.
Video podcast episodes coming back next week.
Should we say that we have special guests too?
And we have a special guest on the podcast for you guys. This person is going to be really awesome to listen to if you've ever been curious about virtual pelvic floor therapy. So definitely tune in next week.
Hint, hint. Guys, this person is so big in the name of pelvic floor PT. We're so excited that she is going to come see us in person and record with us in person. It's going to be our last video recorded episode at our clinic. And then we're moving on to bigger and better things from there. So tune in. And if you guys have any other questions, we will be announcing the guest later this week. And if you have any specific questions for our guest, we'll be taking those as well.
Yeah. All right. Bye, pelvic freaks.
Bye, pelvic freaks.
Freak, 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 freak.